we've started streaming. It looks like we've got, yeah. We're going to have our friend from White Bat Audio. All right. Almost ready. All right, today's beer that we're drinking during all this is Paulaner. Doing this wrong. Here we go. I want to thank you guys for showing up today during today's Chill and Paint stream, or Chill Paint and Drink stream. Today is the first official day of Oktoberfest. Oktoberfest celebrates the life of King Ferdinand. Yeah, Elle, I agree. We'll do it again here in mid-February. Nope, late January. How are you today, Elle? I just got home. Show you some things before we start today's paint options. I have a module coming up, and it requires a Froggamoth. Actually, it requires 2 Froggamoths. So I grabbed another Froggamoth today. Headache from Hand to Hand Heroes Unlimited book thing. That could be an issue. That could be a problem. Painful. So I'm into construction trades or maintenance trades, however you view plumbing. And what I don't have in my house is a tape measure. So Army Painter sells these for like $7. I know that's probably a ripoff, but I need a tape measure. Let's see that. Pro streamer at the moment, let me tell you. So they sell this for $15, which is basically $5 a brush. Kind of expensive for brushes if you have an art store you like. The art store we have right down the road from us sells brushes for $4, but they don't sell games. So being that I want to be able to have a spot that sells games, I went, Paulo Patriot says, I'm conquering YouTube just like the Serbian-Bosnian War. 100%, buddy. Els wanting to step away from another stream, probably Legion of Myth, before bad GM advice since he doesn't care about magic or psionics. That's understandable. So it's a good thing to have extra brushes in your brush kit. Got some replacement colors here. Bloodstain red, clotted red. I got corn red, or base corn red, which I need. Leaf green, which will come in handy for the Frogamoths. Another red tone, which I need. Slatish gray. Yeah. So, we're going to have some fun today. One thing you're not going to hear me talk about, because I don't watch it, is Rings of Power. Yeah, Apollo, I hit 1K, man. You know what? I always look for you to be doing your live streams or playing games, but I never see it. I never see you doing a live stream playthrough, Apollo. So I'm going to need to go to your channel real quick and check that out and see if I've got the bell kicked in. That'd be awful nice. Okay, I'm subscribed to you. All right, I should be getting all your notifications. Damn, you're almost at 2,000 viewers. The Asian ladies are fantastic. The ones from Indonesia are the ones that I really like because they seem to, if you go over there and give them like a $5 or $10 super chat, you get like 50 subscribers. I don't think they're selling views. I think they're actually kicking their family. Hey, here's a link because I've noticed my views go up. Not my subscriber numbers. Subscriber numbers jumped up last year pretty good. And then in June, I had a real hit. But I'm going to tell you that, like, when I go to those Asian ladies like you sent me over to, those girls, like, they send me like 10 or 20 people to view the damn stream. And they might stick around for maybe only, 30, 40 minutes. But that still kicks me into the higher end of the YouTube algorithm than I've been before. So I'm not going to complain in the least bit. We're going to set this guy over here. I've got 2 Frogamoths. One of them is a resin kit that it's supposed to be a good kit. I'm not impressed with it. Then you have this one here, which is the El Cheapo $17 string. Apollo, you want to marry an Asian woman? I'll just recommend you just don't marry an American woman. Don't marry somebody that's Americanized. Apollo says, I'm a retard. I don't know how to live stream. But yeah, I want to marry an Asian woman. I understand that. I was a sailor once. Get some nice Italian and Japanese blooded kids. That's what everybody thought when I joined the Navy. My wife's in the background. What you trying to do? Don't you be talking about having no babies, no other woman. No, honey, I'm not fishing. So I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. This is a beautiful Sunday afternoon. I went over to the dog park with the wife. We didn't see many dogs there. It was like noon. People are walking their huskies out there though. Like who has a husky in San Antonio? I just want to know. I just want to know who thought that was a good idea. Have you seen the amount of fur on those huskies? Hey, Victor, how you doing, sir? Victor, if you're bored, I've got a link for you here in the chat. Bam. Man of War 665, Neighbor the V says, so you're saying my marine of a Puerto Rican woman is an oxymoron? No, I'm not saying it's an oxymoron. She's not Americanized. Most Puerto Rican women I know are just straight fucking crazy. Like you're not going to know a sane day in your life, which, I mean, every one of us wants to stick our dick in crazy. That's just like you, as a little kid, like you see somebody get shocked and you're like, man, I don't want to go out like that. But then you see a Puerto Rican woman, you're like, man, I want to go out in style. Hey, that's fine, Victor. That's understandable, and I thank you for even considering this. It's just my 600 video. Actually, it'd be 601, but YouTube couldn't handle me talking about a certain election and how Time Magazine admitted to certain facts, you know. So this is the official 600 stream. It's really the 601, but you know how things are, guys. You got to follow the science. When a friend of mine gets home, I'm going to buy him a game on Steam because he just bought me and the wife a $100 lunch today. And that'd be Groggery, who plays Grog. Victor's giving everybody a Dutch oven in a little while. In fact, I might even stream snipe him. Hey, DM James, how you doing? DM James, if you'd like to pop on, there is a StreamYard link up there in chat. I'm not trying to pilfer from our boys over at Legion of Myth. It's just this is my usual stream time with Machini. Machini's off for a bit. Man of War 665, Neighbor the Beast asks, where's your masks? Where's your masks? You guys, in this conjugal environment we're in, everybody needs to be masked up. You don't need to be unmasked. There's a guy at the Google Alphabet headquarters right now with his hand hovering over the disconnect button on my stream. We're going to put Bruce's stream under attack. He's got that synthwave music that's non-copyright. Cal? Hey, Bruce, I'm doing a setup you might want to see. Cal, did you put it in my Discord? I'll share it with everybody. DM James says I would, but I'm getting ready to play Pandemic. Pandemic, my favorite game. Oh, did you get your boosters? It doesn't matter. He lives over in Orlando. A bit of pre-Magic the Masquerade gaming. Calvinani, when you get your setup done, pop it over in my Discord. I will be happy to go check it out and give you some more views. Victor Gorchip.
Hello.
How you doing, sir?
I'm good. I just scarfed down some noodles real quick.
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
Had a really nice late night snack last night of some soup, and was delish. But then today, a friend of mine was like, Travis is in town, and we're gonna head over to Max and Louie's, and if you ever come to San Antonio, I'll take you to Max and Louie's. Okay. It's our best restaurant we have.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and the seven of us ate there, two couples and one child. So we had a really good lunch over at Max and Louie's, and then we stopped by the game store, procured some supplies, and then I realized today, holy cow! If I stream today, it's my 600th video. Well, my
Yeah.
according to YouTube.
Yeah.
So,
Congratulations on that.
thank you. What is your video going to focus on today?
I don't know. It's kind of like a chill stream. We just talk about whatever. Usually it's like nerd related stuff though, like tabletop RPGs, games, books, all that stuff, comics.
Now, is there anything in the future that you want us to be aware of that Victor Gorchev is working on? Because you did Cow Punchers, right?
No, that's John. That's the basic expert. Yeah, that's. John.
Oh, okay.
But I did write a.
Right?
I used these rules to.
No, that's...
Oh, what's up, James?
Hey, James.
Hey, how you doing?
Nice angle. No, but I used this Cow Punchers rules to make my own game called Waste Runners, which is like post-apocalyptic Europe, basically. So
fantastic. I believe I actually have that in my folder here off of Big Geek Emporium. I need to do a third read through and go through my notes and make sure that I have, because it's a 4.5 to 5 star review that I've thought of so far on it.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
you did well.
Thanks. I cranked that out in like literally a week.
That's how inspiration works.
All that hits, that's all that matters.
Yeah. Same with the thing I did afterwards, Simple Modernity, which is like modern rules for like the OSR. So, it's like OSR rules for firearms, stuff like that.
That's not a bad thing. Can handle that.
I pretty much cranked that out in a week as well, just in between my big project.
Apollo Patriot says, if YouTube puts 10 ads on my channel, I'm going to turn off the ads. I might move over to Twitch in the future. Who knows? I got to do my Google AdSense later today. And I've already saw something that could be a problem in the future because they have you can't really talk about Ukrainian, Russian war stuff. And I've got opinions on this. So I might just say, I'm just going to suck on super chats whenever those do roll in.
Yeah. Well, you know what your job will be, James. Get those super chats going.
No, I said when I started this was a hobby and I will never monetize or anything, and I never will.
Well, I mean, you're the one that always sends the super chats to people. That's what I meant.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I don't know if it's because I put out the music review videos, but I gained 240 subscribers in 28 days.
Nice.
The video that I saw you did was a Sabaton Hall of the Mountain King.
I did a Ronnie James Dio one, and they will not allow it to be shown in the United States.
Really?
But it can be shown anywhere else. I mean, the old bastard watched it and he's like, "Hey, good video," But yeah, I did. Of course, I called it my orc slaying anthem, "Holy Diver" by Ronnie James Dio. And so I'm starting to do. That's what I'm going to do. That I'm going to do like that. Those 80s kind of 90s power jams we all used to kind of, well, those of us
still do
used to freaking rock out to while we were waiting for the rest of the bros to show up to play AD&D. I'm going to start doing videos on them and being like, hey, this is what I thought about. And it's really weird too. They literally only content, what's it called? They're only contesting about.
It's not a true copyright strike, is it?
No, it's not copyright strike. It's not against my channel. Everything's awesome. Everyone who doesn't live in the United States and Canada can watch it, which is awesome for me because
Nordic VPN.
All right. Well, what's awesome for me too is that I guess a little bragging here. Apparently, I am very popular in Brazil.
Huh.
So there you go. My Brazilian brothers got my back. for whatever reason, you know how you can do analytics and it tells you where America, Canada, UK, Brazil, and Brazil's almost beaten UK. It's close. So I'm like, okay. And then after that's like Sweden. I don't even know anybody in Sweden, but anyway, whatever. Painting up some frog moths, man. That takes me back.
Dude, there's a situation coming up where I've got 2 of them in a module, and I'm like, who wrote this shit? When was this actually written?
Aren't frog moths like 11 hit die bastards?
Something like 17 now, I think.
Well, yeah, obviously I'm thinking AD&D frog bots. I'm thinking Barrier Peak.
Yeah, you're thinking the older school ones, but that's fine. I mean, that's still what they do. They are huge creatures, and they chew on player characters with a wild aplomb. Oh, you're only medium sized. That's cute. Let me swallow you.
Yeah, and now you're on the inside, and you can only attack with a small weapon and all that shit. And you're on a timer too, because if you don't get out in X amount of time, you just die.
Yeah.
At least in the old game, you'd suffocate. Apollo Patriot. Yeah, I've got a lot of Eastern Europeans recently too. Specifically Russians. I've got a couple of Russians that actually show up in my chat, and we bullshit around. Another thing is I was networking through the Orthodox Meme Squad.
Meme Squad?
Yeah, there's an actual YouTube channel. The guy, the Orthodox Meme Squad. And so I go over there on his live chats and bullshit around and watch him game and talk to people. And part of the precepts of Orthodoxy is that you kind of want to find other Orthodox people to hang out with. So there's networking within that community. You kind of like, I'm Orthodox and I do D&D stuff. And a lot of Orthodox people are like, well, awesome, on the way, So
I just looked at my channel, and 29% are from the US, and that's the most people that are subbed. So
29% from the US. That's for me, it's way more percentage from the US.
I only have like 360 subs still. So
but I mean, if it's going by percentage, then
mine's like 70% US.
Okay, I'm going to look now since we're going to do a little,
I'm not trying to dick measure. I'm just saying I've got 70% of my subs are all United States.
You might not be.
and then I've got like 13 or 15% Vietnamese.
I've got Cambodians. My Cambodian brother's holding it down for the DMJ. Yeah, my largest demographic is 45 to 54-year-old men.
Which
makes sense since I'm a 50-year-old man. So.
I mean, yeah.
I have almost 1% of women.
Mine is 8% women.
Well, I can understand though, you sexy bastard.
It's not me, it's a caterpillar.
Is that like a code name or something?
That's the stash.
Yeah, you got that firefighter mustache kicking. You see that mustache, they just think that this guy knows what's going on.
Yeah, no doubt, right?
I just need to start making videos aside from just like live streams, because I think just like normal videos are like, the biggest source of subscribers.
Actually, it's shorts.
Yeah, shorts. Even a retard like J. Scott Garrity can get 1,000 hits on a short.
Yeah. No, I just need to think of stuff to talk about.
Lying about that retard bit with him either.
Well, I still love him though. I can't quit him. It's like Brokeback Mountain.
He's a responsible individual that feeds you subscribers. I'll just say that.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah, my Garrity videos do good. I've got my accusing, which I think won D&D in Wizard Coast. They do have a racism issue. Got 541 new viewers.
Nice.
But I didn't want to do that, but it's like people say, it's freaking. I can make peace and love videos all day long about getting along. No one gives a shit.
People like the drama llama stuff.
Right. You get involved in like arguing, you cost somebody some names, point some shit out off. Some people are like, oh, let's see what in the hell is going on over here, right? But
I'm just gonna start calling out you guys.
you can if you. Oh shit! What happened here? Vietnam beat Brazil. Damn! I thought my
soccer?
Brazilians were doing good. They got kicked back down to 5th place by Vietnam.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Well, I was talking to a guy who lives in Vietnam on one of my live streams, Han NG, and we had a whole conversation about how I have a half sister that lives in Ho Chi Minh City. And because my biological dad, when he was over there, he knocked someone up. And when I did my DNA test, it was like, you have a leaf in Ho Chi Minh City. I was like, what? Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, that's kind of cool, actually. That's really fucking cool.
I thought it was cool. She speaks like almost no English. We tried to communicate like one time. And Vietnamese is like, I tried to use like the Google, English to Vietnamese translator shit. Yeah, right. You know what I mean? But it was nice. She's older than me. She's a couple of years older than me, and she's happy and she's doing well. And she lives in Ho Chi Minh City. I don't even know what she does. But her last name is Nguyen. It's like Marianne or something Nguyen. So, whatever. I am happy to see that France is dead last. The French do not like whatever I do. I got my Spanish brothers. That's right. Holding it down for Spain. Russia's representing.
I'm a Lombardo, but I get no love from the boot. Okay.
Oh, I got some love from the boot. Not as much love as I'm getting from Cambodia and Australia. It's like my list is very what you would think. United States, then Canada, UK, and then out of the blue, Vietnam.
Yeah, mine's United States, Australia, Britain, Canada, Germany, and then the Philippines for some reason.
You know what? Maybe we're being like kind of weird and Western centric, and we're forgetting that countries like Vietnam and Cambodia and the Philippines, they literally have like tens of millions of people with access to the internet.
Yep.
And maybe some of those cats are interested in D&D or just hearing fat bearded dudes bitch about stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
You're not either of those things, Victor, but
no,
give it time.
I wish I was a bearded dude, but no such luck.
Give it time, Victor. You'll be one of us. One of our brothers.
One of us.
Yeah, it's the moment I start playing more OSR games, I just start growing a beard.
It's like a thing,
pounds.
Right? It's like the first time you pick up an OSR game or an AD&D DMG, you enter gamer puberty.
Yeah.
Then after that, you start growing hair in places where hair wasn't growing before.
After I figured out THACO, I was doing my own taxes. I was
Right.
doing my mom and dad's taxes.
Exactly. I was like, and I'm not a THACO purist, honestly. I mean, obviously, ascending armor class is better.
I like ascending armor class. I'm not
But
a purist.
THACO wasn't hard.
No, it's not hard. I don't understand why everybody stumbles over it. I kind of get upset whenever my friends tell me Pathfinder is hard, and I'm like, what? They're like, Pathfinder is really crunchy. I'm like, okay, so just get to know your character and you'll be fine.
It wasn't hard. It just felt out of place with the rest of the system, because the rest of the system is all like bonuses and pluses, and then this thing, like random thing, is like, oh no, you have to count backwards all of a sudden.
You have to subtract for your armor class. What?
See, I played Pathfinder for a year or two. I ran Pathfinder, I should say, for a year or two. But since I had like 8 years of 3rd edition D&D under my belt, it was like the same game. You know, like, not a problem. And but yeah, maybe South America wants to learn. I don't know if D&D is new down there, but I do know a lot of Brazilians play Middle Earth role-playing still. Like Rollmaster is huge in South America.
I'm going to tell you something you might not realize, James. The Dungeons and Dragons cartoon from Marvel Sunbow that ran from 83 to 86.
Yeah, I own every episode on DVD.
Okay. That cartoon was in syndication and they made it an after-school cartoon. And so these kids are watching the same 36 episodes for over 15 years. So Gen Y, the millennials over there, you show them Uni and Bobby and Eric, and they're going to pay attention to that really hard. That's why there was a Renault car commercial.
I remember that car commercial.
Yeah, that commercial was awesome.
That car commercial did better fan service for Dungeons and Dragons than Hasbro has done since they've owned the fucking license.
I'll tell you what, here too, Apollo's talking about his handful of subs from Germany. I've got the master plan for getting all the subs from Germany. Here in about 2 months, I'm just going to start live streaming a fireplace.
I mean, those videos do really well, though.
I'm just going to be like, just a picture of heat. Like, my German brothers, I'm helping you out here. Maybe just live stream a big pile of firewood, something.
I listened to a lot of. Oh, go ahead.
I was thinking about streaming a dumpster fire.
Either or, man.
So just a live stream of a 5th edition book.
Yeah. Like burning a pallet of 5th D&D books that'll never get bought and used.
Yeah. It's just the new Spelljammer standing upright on the table. It's a dumpster fire.
Spelljammer did something I never thought WotC could do, and what that is it made some of the most hardcore shills on YouTube actually say negative shit about a 5e product.
Yeah.
Well, it hasn't worked completely yet because there's Scott Garibay talking about how great it is.
But I'm telling you, that is a parody account, or he escaped from a lunatic asylum.
The whole racism accusation aside, that book, it's just shit. It doesn't have any rules for ship-to-ship combat, all the stuff that you would think Spelljammer would need. No, we didn't put that in.
Yeah, that's actually the complaint I heard.
Yeah,
wasn't that had anything to do with racism? Was that there's no rules for how ships actually work?
Yeah.
And in the book itself, apparently, and I got this from that South African dude, that's almost always 100% 5e shill, but in this case, it was this is the worst thing. They tell you to view ship-to-ship combat like one dungeon invading another dungeon.
Yeah.
The ship's a dungeon, and so there's no they don't even want you duking it out with broadsides. The whole deal is supposed to be just boarding actions.
Yeah.
But then they don't give you the rules to actually maneuver the ships and nothing. And when you look at the 2nd edition AD&D Spelljammer box set, it had all that shit in it.
Yep.
And the High to Z were in it without anything Twitter could. Well, no, I'm sure Twitter would find something to bitch about, but you guys know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
It's like 5e is a de-evolution of the game.
It's just stagnant. I don't know. I like 5e as a core system, and I write for 5e, but just the stuff that Wizards of the Coast does, there's nothing interesting that they're doing. It's very stagnant.
Well, yeah, I think I misspoke when I said what I said. I should have said that WotC has taken the IP and they've de-evolved it into, because you're right. The 5e rules aren't terrible. They're not terrible. You can play them, but they create nothing new, and they just keep destroying things. It's like they're standing on the shoulders of giants, taking a piss in the giant's ear.
Yeah.
It's what are you doing? This is so easy. You could have took this box set, updated some rules, threw some art on it, and just re-put it out. I mean, so why wouldn't you do that? How do you put out a slipcover collection of books that has a quarter of the freaking content of a box set from '89?
Yeah.
It's like you actively have to go out of your way to be an F up at this point.
Well, people talk about second edition and third edition bloat, but at this point, I'd rather have bloat than what we get with 5e. Because at least out of that bloat, there was like a lot of interesting stuff. Like somebody would just have like a 300-page book about like here's like all these fantasy martial arts you can plug into your game, like shit like that. And 5e doesn't really have that.
4E, as much as a lot of people hated the actual rules, the lore that what was it, Merles and Wyatt were doing for the game was really good.
Mm-hmm.
That James Wyatt dude, he can write lore. He can do monsters. Their concept of the abyss, I think, was my favorite. Like the Cosmic Quill they did in 4E.
Yeah,
I think it was my favorite of all time. You know, just they talk about how Dagon sleeps in the ocean on the 5th level and all this kind of, you know, it was just really good. The rules kind of suck, but the lore, man, and I wanted to know more about Nin Taraval. You know, I liked the city of Fallcrest.
yeah.
You know, and the Minotaurs that lived under that mountain and all that. You know, the keep on the Shadowfell. I thought that was a really interesting setting, but unfortunately, Merle's pissed Twitter off, so
Yeah.
they got him locked in a basement somewhere right now.
What did he even do? Like, I never even heard the story about what he did. I just know that he got canceled, but I don't know why.
It got found out that when he was the lead designer for 5e Dungeons and Dragons, he had exchanged thousands of emails with the RPG pundit and Zach Sabbath.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And apparently that's why the RPG pundit's always talking about how he helped create 5e. He's not lying.
Yeah.
Well, when Twitter found out, they hate. I don't know how much you're on Twitter, but when I used to be on Twitter, they hate the pundit. Man, they hate him.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And then after Zach Sabbath's crazy ass girlfriend accused him of abusing her, they all hate him too now.
I remember when I released my OSR little OSR book, the pundit, like he retweeted me and he was like tweeting at me, and I like lost a bunch of followers.
Yeah. Pundit and I followed each other when I was on Twitter, and we caught a bunch of heat there too. Like, there's this one douchebag on YouTube right now. Like, his channel is Fistful of Dice, and he would send me pornographic images of like orcs and goblins having gay sex and shit like that. And I'd be like, "What is your problem, you punk ass?" You know. And but then I found out where he lived, and he sent me a direct with that shit, and I sent him his address back, and then he stopped.
Yeah.
And the last time I looked at his video, he's whining about his severe depression. So it's like, well, it makes sense.
That's always the case. Always those people, like all the cancel culture people, they always talk big, and then like a day later they're like tweeting about how depressed they are and they have like no money and please PayPal them some cash so they can eat. And meanwhile they're going around trying to cancel everyone.
Right. Well, because the people who act that way, and we're taking over Bruce's show over here, but they're unhappy people by nature, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they didn't wake up today and have like an agenda where like, and by the end of the day, everything's going to be in good shape. I'm going to have my bills paid. I'm going to pet a dog, and a cute girl's going to wave at me. No, they never have a plan set up for that. They never have a winning plan. Okay, they're always focused on, I'm just going to be a negative little cunt. And like after 3 days of being on Twitter, they realize like how miserable and empty that life is, and they're like, I don't know, I've got mental damage. My pronouns, my therapist has even called me by my pronouns. What's going on?
Well, I actually saw something where I think it was Jordan Peterson was saying that Twitter, it does something to your brain, like because you get like what's it called, the bump that feels good.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean dopamine?
Yeah, you get dopamine hits on Twitter, but ultimately it's absolutely meaningless, right?
Mm-hmm.
And over a long term, because these guys, like if they make a post and then like someone from Wizard Coast, like Satine Phoenix, likes their post or some shit, that's like the highlight of their month, maybe year.
Yeah,
and they're chasing that feeling. It's almost like they're a bunch of opium addicts. They're just all screaming trying to get anyone on the. I mean, it's really nuts. It's really nuts.
I'm going to step on one of my chatters real quick for a second. L says, Pundit sounds like a failed politician, so little knowledge about games, but everything he does is OSR. She-Hulk is bad for OSR. He's another Garrity. I'm going to say, I don't think you know who Pundit is, because I've got Arrows of Endara, I've got Lion and Dragon, and those are really good games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Lions and Dragon is one of the top tier OSR games, beyond a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, if you're dissing Pundit but you don't know what he does, like, I'm going to ask you to take a step back for a second and find a copy of it and give your honest assessment of it after 2 thorough read-throughs, maybe 3.
Yeah, and to be fair though, I'm going to defend L just a little bit here.
Sure.
He's not attacking his game. He's just saying the guy's sound. You know, Pundit and I got into it big time a couple of years ago because he's so. I called him. He got really mad because I called him a neocon, and he got super mad about it. But I thought I think he is, because he's one of these guys that's like, he doesn't live in the U.S. Obviously, he's Canadian, but he's
he lives in Uruguay or something.
Yeah, he lives in South America, and but he was talking about how the United States, basically, I was bitching about us sending like $50 billion or some shit to Israel. And he's like, well, you got to do that. And I was like, no, we don't. I don't think we should send a nickel to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And because I'm more like that kind of guy, right? And we got into it, and he really is kind of a George Bush Republican. So I said, you're just a freaking neocon, right? And he got so mad. But to be fair though, like Lion and Dragon, not only is it a top tier OSR game, but unlike a lot of OSR games, it's not just a photocopy. No, there's actual innovations in that game
there's some real meat there.
He just leans into the culture war.
But it's just BX. I mean, they didn't create anything with OSC. They just took the BX rules and kind of wrote them a little better. That's all it is.
And got like weird art, but yeah. Pundit, he just leans into the culture war with his videos, and I guess some people don't like that, but whatever. Like, it doesn't really bother me personally. If I don't want to see it, I don't watch it.
Talk politics too, so whatever.
Well, Lion and Dragon is a great game. Dark Albion is an amazing setting, and but the best book he's written that I own is his Cults of Chaos, I think. And it's usable. It's usable for any RPG like fantasy says. Yeah, it's not a great big book, but it has a bunch of tables in it and like examples on how to create demon worshipping cults, and like how they're organized, whether like in cells or whatever, and the leaders and how they mark them, like all these crazy details. You can yeah, I get what El's saying. El's saying that Pundit's kind of like Garrity in that he compares everything to reality, just a different. I get that.
I'm not saying that's a bad slam.
El doesn't like the OGGN.
Pundit's also a master at shilling his own stuff. He'll somehow, any topic, he'll turn into like, hey, buy Lions and Dragons or Invisible College. Like even when he was like talking to me about that little supplement I released, it was in the context of like, hey, can this be used with the Invisible College? I'm like, sure.
Well, I mean, the guy's trying to survive. I mean, literally, he survives on selling product. That is it. If he doesn't sell product, then the dude don't get to eat. So I understand he's out there doing a hustle and trying to make it happen. I'm agreeing with Bruce in that he actually, unlike a lot of people, makes stuff that's worth buying. Yeah, but I also agree with L that sometimes he does come off a certain way.
That said, I'm going to go play Pandemic. He probably puts the worst foot forward in the charisma game. He does not exactly engender a lot of love from people unless he's talking gaming. But whenever he's talking personally on things, he gets under skin real easy. Like I watched him with both Legion of Myth and both with Grimm, and it seems like he's a master at getting an upper hand in getting someone else to lose their shit.
Right. Well,
I hate to say
Elf
that.
says that the OGGM made a video mocking the Queen 3 minutes after she died. Yeah, I have to agree that I'm not like a whatever, but that's just classless. That's bad taste. And regardless of what we might in America feel about Queen Elizabeth, I mean, 80% of the UK approved of her.
Yeah.
Well, it's also like, who gives a fuck? Like, talk about D&D. Like, why is this guy making videos about the Queen?
Yeah, it makes. When I had my thing about the Queen live streaming, I told all the UK people, "Hey, my heart goes out to you. This is the end of an era. This lady has ruled for 70 something years, and apparently she wasn't horrible." So, I mean, they're hurting over there, even right now. You know, I watch what is it, the Lotus Eaters podcast?
Oh yeah,
And those dudes are hurting. I mean, England is freaking out. Something as everyday as gravity just changed.
Yeah. Well, it's the end of an era, and we're kind of going into a scary time to begin with. So it's like, it's like this anchor to like the 20th century, basically, and now it's gone, and it's just like one other thing that's like, taking us into this scary future, I guess, especially here in Europe with all the shit that's going on. So yeah,
that's a great word you use too, anchor.
Yeah,
Elizabeth really was the anchor that the UK, no matter what happened, you had Elizabeth. But anyway, yeah, I didn't know he mocked the Queen, and I would say that's just bad taste, bad form, old boy, bad form.
He's used bad form before. I will say that about OGGM. He's had some hot takes before. That's not the first time I've heard it. Wow. Anyway, and I'm not saying that like he's a bad person. It's just that he's said some things before that, like, man, that would piss somebody off. I'm glad that OG is here in States.
Yeah, we all do. But all of that said, it's real fun talking to you guys for a minute. But if I don't get in there and at least win one game of Cthulhu Pandemic with the wife and the fam. We've played twice already, and we were just getting our asses wrecked. But we had a little meeting just before I talked about we need to try these tactics, and hopefully we can win a game. So, and then after that, the guys will be showing up to play Vampire. So
nice.
That'll be my evening. Anyway, thanks, Bruce, for having me, and Victor, always a pleasure, sir.
You're always invited, James. Okay,
awesome.
You, James, I want to say something to you as well. There was a time back where you were asking about a game that I run, and I gotta, I don't know if you saw it, but if you ever wanted to be jumping in that Pathfinder game I run every other Saturday, let us know. Talk to us in the Terran Keld channel, because that's where the majority of the campaign talk goes, and ask the guys if they'd want to have another player, and seriously.
Yeah, he left, but I'm sure. Okay. I'm sure he heard you.
Fair enough. I don't want him to get in trouble with family. You're supposed to be playing board games with us, not on the stream.
Yeah.
Manowar 665 says not everybody can be a social butterfly like Bruce and DM James. Yakubian lives matter.
Yep. Technology.
Thank you. Thank you, sir, for that. You don't have to do that. I really appreciate it. I do. And I made a statement last night on my stream, like, I get these super chats, and I'm going to throw some money out there for the Wounded Warrior Action people, because they are big here in San Antonio. They've got a lot of goodwill here. They're doing the right thing, and I like what they do. So probably not even going to make a whole lot of money on YouTube. I'm just going to churn that back to the vets that need it. The guys that come home and they're not quite in one piece, physically or mentally, and they'd be better off. They'd be better off getting it than I would, because I'd waste it on shit like this. You know? Oh, it's King Ludwig's anniversary.
And hey, Matt
Barninger. But I really appreciate you giving me some time today, man, and coming on here And you run Dutch oven, don't you?
Yeah, which is starting in
long is
about
that-
40 minutes. Sorry, good.
How long has that stream been a thing for you? How long have you been running that?
Couple months now, I think, at least. Let me see when my first one was. I kind of did it like just randomly. It's like, I feel like streaming today, and I would just like start it, and then I decided to make it like an actual like weekly thing.
Mm-hmm.
So let me see when my first video was.
Well, there's some vets I want to give help to, and as a sailor, there's other vets that I don't think they need help. I just think they need to get their act together and come on, let's get to work. You don't get to sit down all day. You got all four limbs.
Yeah.
Charities and admins take the largest cut to run them. Yeah, but Wounded Warrior doesn't really do that. They actually take care of the people they ask about. There's another group. There's a coffee out there, and I'm gonna promote this today over Blackout Coffee. Blackout Coffee is the guys who pay me. Okay, I make money off Blackout Coffee. I have an affiliate link for them, but I don't want you to buy that today. If you're into coffee, there's a little group out of Joplin, Missouri, and they paired up with the guys from Grunt Style called 22 Sierra Coffee. And they've got various coffees. They've got really good coffees. I get this stuff called the 22 Sierra Coffee, the breakfast blend, and it's a badass coffee. It's on that link I put there in the chat. It's the second row down, first one out of the three. And they have an amazing breakfast blend. It is a very good coffee. It's got a solid taste to it. I've done a reaction video on my channel for it. I've not done a reaction video for Blackout Coffee. Blackout Coffee is just fucking great. But 22 Sierra, it's like a 4-man, 5-man operation. And they call themselves 22 Sierra because their profits, a portion of their profits go to help out getting veteran suicide under control.
Yeah.
They call themselves 22 Sierra because 22 suicides a day in the vet community.
I heard something about that once.
Well, there's a lot of things in the vet community about 22 because of that. So if you ever see like the 22 push-up a day challenge, that's you're going to get fit just trying to make yourself committed to doing these little exercises and turn that into something bigger. And the reason is that the other guys that were vets, they gave the oath like you did, they're not able to do it anymore because whatever demons they were facing won. Whatever they had going on in their life, it got the best of them and it took them away from here. They can't do it anymore. They don't have somebody to say, come on, let's just go get this workout done. Let's get this started. Let's at least put forth an effort to do 22 push-ups a day, which is why I'm not a complete and total fat body. I'm just a fat body.
Yeah.
But I was here in Ingleside, Texas, when I was an 18-year-old kid, getting ready to turn 19, and I served on board the USS McCandless. My third day of active duty at my first duty station, one of my coworkers tried blowing his brains out, and he couldn't even kill himself right. Okay, I mean, he was really messed up. He had a lady dump him, and he was just not in the best of shape. He shouldn't have been handling weapons once it got broken, but he had the bullet. It was a 45. It traveled around the hemisphere of his dome, and it got lodged above his right eyebrow, and they were able to operate on it like a year later. And he didn't really have a lot of traumatic brain loss from that, but he learned his lesson, and he took life a lot slower after that because he was just not in the mood to rush around and be so intense about things. When you're a young guy, your hormones still rage after you enter your 20s.
Yeah.
And he was one of those guys that he was just real high strung, and He took everything very emotionally, and he didn't have a good mentor. And once he got in the veteran hospital, I guess they gave him like a group class, and he said he got better because he was around a bunch of people that had been where he had been.
Hmm.
And that's something like if you've got problems, then you need to talk to somebody that's had problems like what you've got now.
Yeah, definitely.
You can't get your solution from somebody who read a book. I'm not trying to slam the psychiatric community on this, but I'd like to see a lot more psychologists that are ex-dopers and alcoholics than guys that were raised in two-parent families with no problems whatsoever. I would be a terrible therapist, okay? My mom and dad are still together after 50 years. My my core support group is still pretty damn good, and I've fostered a good community of local gamers here, both here in Texas and where I'm from in Illinois, as you see with Table Breakers. Hey, Chimerian, how you doing, buddy? And I want to have people like just understand that like we'll give you all the support you need. I don't know if the people that have never endured what you've got can be the help you need.
Yeah,
And even if we give you the help you need, it's still up to you to put it all together.
yeah, definitely.
I
Yeah,
don't
I
need
never, I never served, and I thankfully avoided like major depressions and stuff. So
Yeah. Well, the worst things nowadays, I don't think the drugs are really the problem. I mean, they are a problem. Don't get me wrong. Fentanyl could get into somebody and really just tear them up, just emotionally, psychologically, everything. And then it stops your heart.
yeah,
But I think
yeah,
I think the internet, I think there's some things on the internet that you just shouldn't partake in.
hmm,
Like if you figure out like, hey, I'm pretty much addicted to this Facebook thing, hey, it's okay to take a break for 2 weeks.
yeah.
Um,
Also, I looked real quick, and when I started with the Dutch oven, it was 2nd of July, so about 2.5 months.
dude, keep it going, man. What
Yeah.
time do you usually start?
11 p.m. my time, which is in about like 34 minutes. So
Okay.
I'll probably drop out in like about 20 or so, just get like ready, get everyone in who
Sure.
wants to join.
On the game design of things, I gotta ask, Vic,
Hmm?
what was it that caused you to say that, my house rules are really good? Or at least my house rules I think people could use. What event happened?
Mostly just friends saying that they were good, and like in the beginning, I never believed them because it's like it's like that writer thing. Like people tell you you're good, and you're like, nah, you're lying. You're lying because you're my friend. But eventually, so many people just keep telling you it, and including people that aren't really your friends, so they have like no reason to lie. And I'm like, oh, I guess there's something to it. So might as well give it a shot. So we'll see what happens when my main project comes out. Hopefully, people will like it, and if not, then well, they don't. It's fine.
Everybody talks about your material like it's very good. And I've read Waste Runners a couple times. It's fucking excellent.
Yeah, thanks.
It's a very, I won't say it's rules light, because the option to bring in crunch from other systems like it is there. And
Yeah.
that's like with every OSR game you have in the world. Like if you want to turn Lion and Dragon into Hackmaster 4th Edition, there's nobody stopping you doing that at your table.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, if you just take the book that it is, and you're like, hey, I want to try this waste runners, and I'm going to run my table through a couple hours or a couple days of it. We've got a weekend together, and we'll come back to you. We'll talk to you about it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of guys, once they break that seal and they go for it, they give it an honest shake, like Mutant Crawl Classics or Fallout. And I mean the good Fallout, the GURPS derivative Fallout that they had that included on Fallout Tactics.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
there was an actual special RPG using the tactical game rules that used all the tabletop RPG conventions, but you had a real simple system. And if people would have played that more, I think actually you would have seen more people been like, hey, we're going to push for this to be an actual tabletop book. But then they wrote something else and somebody else got the license. Like, yeah, we're going to use this system over here. I like the original system that they used for special. I really do.
Yeah, I believe it was the original games were supposed to be GURPS, right? And then something fell through with the licensing and they went with special instead. Yeah.
Yeah, they were supposed to be GURPS. They were all
Yeah.
supposed to be GURPS at the start of it all. And it just never materialized.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm a huge Fallout fan, so
like when Fallout 2 came out, that was my exposure to the franchise. Fallout 2 was really special because it had a better narrative, at least at first, than what I thought Fallout 1 did. When I played it later, I'm like, yeah, I can see why people like Fallout 1, but I like Fallout 2 more.
Yeah.
And where I fell in love with it is actually at Fallout Tactics, which I probably shouldn't always talk about, but to me, that's almost a perfect Fallout experience.
The gameplay was really good. The setting was it was alright, but it definitely wasn't like like the originals. They took some like liberty with like the lore and stuff. But like the gameplay was really fun. I love that game just for like going around with like a small team of like Brotherhood of Steel shooting raiders in the face and shit. It was fun.
Wasn't Brotherhood of Steel the action RPG on PlayStation? And
yeah, they also had that game. But in Fallout Tactics, the group that you were like a part of in the setting was the Brotherhood of Steel. You were basically like the conscripts. But yeah, that Brotherhood of Steel game that was actually named after it, that one was trash.
Yeah, there was an action game on PlayStation 2 that I played for a little bit, and I thought, man, this is not the game I want to play.
Yeah.
And there was some parts of it that I thought were really good, but when the gameplay would start, I just would lose my initiative to want to play more. And I hate using game terms like that to illustrate that, but I really was tempted to press the quit button on the power a lot with that game.
Yeah.
you shouldn't be. You shouldn't have that feeling like, man, do I really want to play this?
Well, to shout out my friend, the Basic Expert, real quick. And speaking of Fallout, he's pretty close to releasing his own OSR game called Atomic Punk, which is basically Fallout with the serial numbers filed off, like all the copyright and stuff, like removed. But it's basically just supposed to be Fallout, and I've been playtesting it together with Matt Bollinger there, and it's really fun. So that'll probably come out in a couple weeks, he said. So keep an eye out on that.
Did L block me? Because I'm seeing Calvinani talking there with Chimerian, but I don't see L anymore.
Yeah, I don't see him either. Let me look at him on the
actual... L, are you still in the chat? I mean, I'm not begging for your attention. You want to talk? You want to talk to us? You got our earbud, but I mean, I understand if we kind of piss you off. We do that.
I don't see him either, even on my YouTube, so I wonder if he blocked me as well, even though I'm not sure if I said anything wrong, but whatever.
Yeah, it happens. Chimerian, at 3:28, I put a link in StreamYard for you, because here in about 15 minutes around there, Mr. Victor has his Dutch oven, which he's going to release, and I'll be watching that later tonight. But if you want to chat about games and coffee or anything but Lords of the Rings, Rings of Power, that is not a topic we discuss here. That's not an issue. That's not a thing in my reality. I don't care about it.
Yeah.
I don't know how I could put it any plainer. I absolutely hope that they go broke for making that shit fucking show.
Yeah.
You haven't watched any of it, have you?
I was made to watch the first episode, and but that's it, and it was awful. So
Yeah, I saw the first episode. A friend of mine kind of forced me into watching it. Like, I don't want to say I was raped, but I was not allowed to leave the house.
yeah,
And so I watched this show, and the backgrounds are nice. They took the cinematography and the body language from all the Fast and Furious movies when Vin Diesel looks over his shoulder at the camera in a dramatic way.
Yeah.
And just repeat that. So, we have Chimerian here. But I don't have anything nice to say about that show, and I wish I did. It's a franchise I love. Not so much anymore. Chimerian, you're
Yo.
fine, but we get your OBS.
Yeah, I didn't turn it on. I'm sorry.
You're
So has that L person been speaking in the chat? Because neither of us can see it if he has.
No, before I came downstairs to go turn on the computer, I literally didn't. I think we lost like 2 people from chat. So
okay.
It was 6. Then I started talking in chat, and then suddenly we had 4.
Yeah, because it looked like Cal was like responding to somebody that like it was like looked like a one-sided conversation.
Yeah, that's why I was asking that. And Cal said Garibay did. OGGM talked about the Queen's death. That's right. Garibay linked the D&D to the Queen in the whack video.
Oh, that's
nothing what Garibay says is worth a fucking thing, and that's true. I mean, you got DM James, who he's kind of depending on Scott Garibay reaction videos to help his subscriber count, which is a valid tactic since Garibay seems to get everybody to watch the mental breakdown. I don't know.
I don't know what he does that makes people still remember I remember anything. So just warning, I really can't be on for like more than like 45 minutes, but yeah, I'm here.
Hey, thanks for coming on today.
No problem.
Got you an order of Morning Reaper coffee going your way. You take whole beans, right?
Yes, I do. I can do that.
Beautiful.
And we just got a new coffee maker at work, so yay.
Okay. Awesome. Your poor friends are gonna have like actual gourmet coffee then.
Oh no. They're not gonna have coffee. I'm gonna have coffee.
Yeah, it's the private work stash.
Yeah.
Now, when you're driving down the road, do you have any accoutrements, or do you have any? Are you in a day cab or an actual bunk cab?
It's a day cab. It ain't great.
Okay. I was wondering if you had like a sleeper cab, because if so, we used to roll down the road and we'd have a crock pot going. We have a coffee maker going. The coffee maker was mounted to the floorboard on the passenger side, so you could conceivably reach over, grab the carafe, and pour into your mug sitting in the drink holder.
God, that would be magical. Unfortunately, I don't get the same vehicle from day in to day out. So,
I know. You're driving for Amazon, so I mean I've seen your guys' operations. We have a terminal right down the road from where I work at.
Yeah.
There's an idea for you whenever you move to Texas.
Yeah, let's not do that again.
I know. Carmen would kill you.
She would. Honestly, she's the one who I want to keep happy. So,
you know, I'm really proud of you on that, because you're one of the few people I know that she's super excited about in her life. And I saw her when she was married. That luster wasn't there.
Well, I think we both went through a lot of bad stuff to get to the point where we can actually be happy like this. So,
Our friend Ironcaster has joined in chat.
Welcome.
Sup,
Hey,
Ironcaster?
But it's pretty impressive. You know, I
Hey,
had availability for a stream today, and I'm like, I'm going to run a stream, and wanted everybody to know that this is my 600th and first video, but YouTube took down a video, so
gee,
yeah, that happens.
it does.
You know, if you know how YouTube is, then you know not what to say. And I thought since it was printed in Time magazine, I could say it. So apparently I learned my lesson. Carmarian,
Yeah.
what time did you go to bed last night?
About midnight, and I woke up. I woke up with nightmares around 6. Did some work, and then went back to sleep. So
Man of War busts Ironcaster's balls a little bit. He's like, "Oh, you just get done playing Chutes and Ladders?" Ironcaster says, "Every other player smokes. Now I have to wash off that everything, and I got to get that shower and get that cigarette stink off me." Matt Barninger for $1.99. I believe that's a super sticker.
No, it says Conquest on 601st video.
Oh, okay. Thank you, sir.
I need to get to 1,000 followers so I can get some fucking super chats going.
Yeah. I mean,
I need beer money.
I didn't really start the channel to get super chats, but I mean, I'll accept them. We were discussing yesterday during the stream I was doing that I have no problem with super chats. I want, if you want to know what's going to happen with your money right now, any payments I make from Google AdSense or YouTube or Alphabet are going to be going to Wounded Warrior Foundation, which Max sent me a link on that, and I've got another link on that. I think they lead to the same place, but I can take care of that. And then the wife said, "Well, if it gets really rough this winter, don't you want to use that money for paying bills?" Well, yeah. I mean, I'm going to throw it towards the electric bill. And that's where we go. I mean, just so I can keep doing what I'm doing here, but I don't want to focus. If I get super big, like we get stupid big, like PewDiePie big, fine, I'll buy a house on YouTube money, but I don't see it happening. I've done it for 13 years. I don't see this channel suddenly getting amazing. Yeah, Man of War says, "Hey, we gave it to you. Now to choose to fritter it away is your business."
that sounds very close to one of the groups that I tend to follow really a lot that has that attitude.
I appreciate that. You know, I just right now, like, I mean, I've still got like my job going on, which is great. I've not had a secure job like this in my life ever, where I wake up and I've got people saying, "Is it Monday yet? Can you come and pump my septic tank right now?" My boss, here's his number, and ask him if he wants me to go do it. Here's the price for Sunday. And then I don't get a call back. And one of my coworkers says, "Hey, the boss wanted me to tell you to stop giving his number out on Sundays." So I guess there's my answer.
Yeah, all my money comes from disability, selling vintage typewriters, and writing TTRPGs, I guess. So,
Dude, you like Royal typewriters?
Royal typewriters?
Yeah.
They sound familiar.
Wait. Okay, maybe Royal didn't make it across the Atlantic, but the typewriter that I learned how to type on is an old, like, not the ball typewriter, you know, that has all those spinning things, but it's got the arms that go wham, wham.
Yeah.
So you've got to go ah. You've got to really have good finger strength to get a typewritten message out there.
Yeah.
And this thing's from like the 1960s that I grew up on.
And
yeah, good.
Oh, we mostly sell the European brands, and we go from like 50s to about like the 80s. And We picked them up here for cheap because nobody here cares about like a typewriter. So you'll find one for like 25 euros. We clean them and then we sell them on Etsy for like 200 to 300. And we have a lot of American customers. So yeah.
It's badass.
Oh yeah, definitely, Matt. We made bank on that one. So yeah.
As much as I infer it, I really want you guys to know. I mean, thank you for the super chats. I realize you guys don't have to give, and I don't want to ever sound like I'm begging for money. I never want to sound like DSP or Dark Side Phil, which if you know who that is,
Yeah.
Man.
Well, he's like addicted to like some like mobile game and like secretly, and all his money goes to that, and then he lies about it.
Yeah, he doesn't really play a lot of games anymore. Not on his streams that I saw. I was trying to watch a stream of his the other day, and he was just asking for money for about 40 minutes, and I could tolerate very little of what he was saying. Like I was just thinking, like, what type of man are you?
Yeah, he's a big joke. Nobody likes him.
I feel sorry for the guy because like nobody took him under their wing and said, "Listen, we need to give you some manhood lessons." That's literally what I had happen to me in the Navy. You know, I mean, I was on ship and I wasn't like really getting into the work. Whom is this? Dark Side Phil. He's a Twitch and YouTube streamer that he used to do game streams, and now all he does is just beg for money. He throws a target amount on his stream every day. And for some odd reason, people just give money to him because they feel bad about watching him suffer, which he's not really suffering. You know, he doesn't even do mukbang stuff. He just gets fatter, and he's pathetic. Like he doesn't want a job. He's got nothing going on.
Yeah,
he's just boring.
Well, I should probably go get ready for my stream, I suppose. But yeah, thanks for having me on, man.
I didn't mean to chase you off, Vic, but
oh no, it's fine. No,
you have a time limit, and I appreciate you being here with me today. And what was the name of your new game today? Is that Waste Runners? You say?
No, Waste Runners is the old one. I also released Simple Modernity. My big project that I'm working on right now is for 5th edition. It's called The Modern Adventurer's Guide to Guns and Gear, and it's basically rules for firearms, explosives, all that stuff for 5e to turn your game into like a modern fantasy setting.
Huh. Well, I'm going to put a link of what you've got on Simple Modernity for $350.
Yeah.
If you guys want to support Victor Gorchev, and I'm not inferring that you have to, but if you want to look at some of the stuff he's done in the past, I'll tell you right now, he gives you a quality product for what he writes. Simple Modernity is at an amazing price of $350, and it's modern themed rules for an OSR styled game.
Yeah.
I'll be probably doing a review of this in December.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you. And thank you for coming on here today. If you need anything else to say, do you have a website?
Technically, but it's a bit rough around the edges right now. I need to pay somebody to make it nice, but it's scryingdutchman.com. Scrying as in like, as in looking into a crystal ball, scrying.
Scrying.com?
Scryingdutchman.com.
Scrying Dutchman. Yeah,
I only recently got it set up, and I need to pay somebody to make it look nice.
And you have a gilded site that people can link to off there, right?
I don't have my own, but I'm on the Basic Experts Guild server, which is pretty big right now, and there's lots of like-minded people on there. I can't talk. Like-minded.
The Dutch oven chat on your site there, so I'm at the right spot.
Yeah.
Okay. I just put the links there in chat. If you guys like what you hear with Mr. Victor Gorchev, I want everybody to subscribe to him and give his material a spin if it's something you need for your table, or if you just are a good collector.
Yeah, definitely. I appreciate any sale.
Thank you. Thank you, Victor.
Yep. Same to you. Latest.
Later, buddy.
Latest, guy.
Laters, take care.
Yep.
So, what's on Chimerian's work for the week? I mean, I know you're going to go drive a truck tomorrow. Same
Right.
thing for me. But are you working on going through any books right now? Or are you putting together a campaign for your kids?
Honestly, I'm waiting. Most of my work for the campaign is mostly on autopilot now because I did enough of the work beforehand that we're just kind of following through the events now because you put all to use the old phrase, work. The more you bleed, the more the more you sweat, the less you bleed. Now we're at that point in the campaign where it's just like, I'm on autopilot. I'm actually preparing for just other shit right now, just because everything's just waiting for the next session, for when the next event occurs, or for the next bit of input from the players. I mean, everything's on pause. That kind of is a weird way to. I want to say I'm happy for it or unhappy with it. It's just like, well, I guess it's just work. Shit. I worked too hard before. Now I just sit back and do nothing.
I mean, that's not a bad thing. You have put in a lot of work in previous campaigns. I've heard you discuss your game theory before.
A lightweight industrial method.
I'm just pretty impressed. Like you've
on the destination.
You've always been one of these DMs that whenever people sit down for one of your games, they can expect you to run yourself ragged trying to get it ready.
Yeah.
And I hate to say that, but you really do. You put more effort into your game than what you put into jobs before. You know what I mean? That's a good and a bad thing. But at the time, whenever we're growing up in our 20s, we don't have jobs that are big damn jobs. We're like, we've got to worry about the red phone of the White House, So you put forth your time and you learned how to lay down good narratives, good alternative plot lines, how to set up NPCs, and the work you do is kind of magical in a way. So you've been down this road before, and now you're watching your machine
run itself
work for you. Yeah, it runs itself.
Yeah. At this point, I'm just sitting down and being able to slapdash Kingdom together in about an hour and a half, 2 hours for you was just I enjoyed it immensely. And I'm glad that everybody else is finally giving some input on that. I mean, I try to throw some details together, trying to make something work, something that feel interesting. But at this point, I spend more time going, it would be really cool if I could play a round of BattleTech. That would be a fun time, but I need some free time. And let's see, next weekend I've got to help Carmen get everything out to the flea market so we can just sell random stuff and have some fun there. And through the week, got kids, got the stream, got to figure out somewhere at some point to sleep and do work and do prep. I mean, heck, I spend most of my time behind the wheel thinking about what shit I'm going to do next. And because nobody wants to be like, we don't think you can do anything. I'm like, all right, I'll just drive your truck until you for a while. You're wrong, but
In the meantime, hold down shift.
Weird saying it like that. You're wrong, but
You receive several items after recycling the space capsule. Click the inventory button.
What's the computer game that you've fallen in love with lately?
currently I'm torn between playing either going back to Ultimate Admirals, Dreadnoughts, Dyson Sphere, Program, Stellaris, Hearts of Iron. But both of those are coming out with new expansion packs this next 2 weeks. So all my games are all being thrown out and thrown into the gutter. Every once in a while, I'll play a round of Factorio or boot Factorio back up because I gotta build more shit forever. and build a bigger factory, launch more rockets, find mods that will make the game harder because playing it on vanilla is boring, and watch YouTube documentaries on everything. Because, I just blew an hour and a half this morning listening to, the dry dock for this week. So,
when you say the dry dock, is that like Stardock Entertainment, or who is the dry dock?
dry dock is Draconofell's Sunday question and answer session that he always does.
Okay.
Which his videos usually run about an hour and a half to 3 hours on Sundays, where all they are is just naval history question, response, source material provided, and working, and that's my Sunday ritual. Wake up, watch 2 hours of naval history, go back to bed, move on to the next day. Then wait for his Wednesday rum ration, which is always some aspect of history. Wait for the Friday. Hope for a Friday video, which who knows what he's going to do then. And then the actual Saturday 5-minute history video, which is fun. And then I get to go out and, because like I said on Thursday, I almost missed the session because one of my old friends stopped by and we ended up talking about everything. Like, it was just a little, hey, I'm dropping off some stuff, and then it turned into, did you read this one paper? Have you been watching the news? Then we just started talking about everything under the sun, and then he finally realized, oh shit, my daughters are getting off of drama practice. I gotta go. I look at the camera and go, oh fuck, I got 3 minutes before I need to be on the stream. Shit. And that's when and our conversations are usually, hey, did you reference that one document that was released by this one group? Like, oh yeah, I read that one, but you might want to read this one that was released by like Boo Ships, Bureau of Ships, or Bureau of Ordnance, or Bureau of Procurement. Hey, does this one line item catch your eye? Let me go look that one up. And so we're sitting here on my, standing on my porch, looking up documents because we want to make sure that we're getting our facts straight. When we're not yelling, we're just discussing random things. Or, do you think there's a Maskarovka? If that Maskarovka was actually pulled off properly, and we're like going, well, shit, if it was brilliant. It's like that's like we were just bullshitting like that. That's why I said, I'm sorry, I almost missed I missed the stream on Thursday. What the hell are people talking about now? Okay, that's fine. And the thing is that because I have those kind of conversations with people is why I put so much effort into my games, is because I know most people, just like how most people can go through their entire day not ever having to think about this kind of stuff. It's out there. It happens. It works. And like you gotta, like, you don't need to know it all. But the thing is that it's there. And
if you make yourself available to it.
Right. And so, yeah, like I put in the Discord chat this morning, last night, I'm not sure. It's all a blur at this point. About, the hardness penetration values being able to be extrapolated out to becoming actual vehicle rules, which evolves into now I can actually, start putting in design thoughts of, okay, so if I put, so where my brain starts to go into the idea of, well, okay, so it's got X hardness, X, and I go, is that against armor? Like, are we going by German, which is vertical, or Russian, which is vertical, American, which is angled? Which way are we determining hardness and deflection and penetration values? How are we measuring that? What are we discussing? Face hardened or homogeneous? What way are we working with steel stats now? Can we start figuring out design aspects so that way I can figure out, if I put slope, can I start putting composites or laminates or armor? Like, how will these change things? And have most people go, shut the fuck up. It's steel. You put plate on steel, it blocks X amount. And I'm like, that's not how it works. No, it is how it works. No, it's not. And
there's a lot of people that want to do quick and dirty out there. Okay, you have to recognize that.
I do. But the moment somebody lets me go, push the box a little bit, I start to go, hey, can I start finding alternatives to certain? Like, I know magical metals, metals are super duper rare. Can I find alloys? Other materials that can be replacements. Can I find my air stop emergencies? Substitutions. Can I replace adamantine with tungsten? Can I replace this with this material? And they're like, stop thinking. I can't. I literally can't.
So you made mention of that in our Discord about you think tungsten would be a good replacement for adamantium, which once I realized what you were doing, I'm like, that'd be badass. That was as much detail as I went into it. I'm like, that'd be badass. And I didn't think any more of it because I'm just thinking of like, okay, I need something for resolutions for a game to where I can have input of this is what's going on. How can I interpret the game rules to have some narrative spit out of my mouth? All right, this is going to happen. And that'll be it. I just got this guy Frost.
Nice.
And I want to know, whenever you have a thought like this and you start getting super detailed on things, okay? Like a lot of other people don't understand that level of detail. And a lot of other people beyond that, they see that level of detail. They're like, whoa, we're going into Pathfinder detail. And you're like, well, yeah, Bruce runs a Pathfinder game. And then I'm like, oh, shit, fuck, he's right for Pathfinder. And that's where a lot of things kind of happen because a lot of people are not reading for Pathfinder. They're reading for 5e or they're reading for OSR games. And they're trying to boil it down into a simpler version than what I've got. They read something like what you have here and they're like, I think I don't need that much information.
And the thing is that a lot of this came up from the fact that in early, because you got to realize that, but at this point, saying Pathfinder is like you're saying you got 20 years of refinement of the rules from 2000 to 2022 that we're at now. So we got about 22 years of refinement for one rule set. At this point, we're about saying third edition / WotC first or whatever derogative term that you want to say is saying this rule set in Pathfinder 2, which isn't that hard to convert between, is legitimately at the point now where it has as much or more refinement than the OSR first edition, second edition crew has. Because the game engine has been around that long. It's been an active development for 20-something years. And people have been playing it for 20-something years. So there's been 20 years of work been put into that engine. I mean, yeah, some people who are using second edition, they've been playing for 40 years, but there hasn't been active work with the rule engine for a good solid 20-something years because it's been. It was like work on that system ceased at the turn of the century, and so it's like they're reinventing the wheel while I'm just pushing the wheel that I already have a little bit further.
And that's how I view the system work that I'm doing. With Pathfinder and 3X, I really like it, but there's some things about it that I don't like because I don't like the high saving throws because that does reward people that just jump around to different classes. Like there was a table I had where two of the players, they ran complete casters or complete marshals. And what I mean is that they would sample a class level from each class, and they would have a saving throw bonus at 5th level, which would be like a base plus 10 fortitude. And I'm like, that's really not how the game was envisioned, right?
And
Like, well, good.
I've got a player who's just like that. But the thing is that, and he's an old guy. He's actually my partner in crime, and I crime in all of these things. He's the guy who actually hosts the club that I work with. And I look at him and go, you do, like, it's like, he kind of looks at me and goes, I understand I'm breaking the rules. I go, I know you are. He goes, can you handle breaking the rules? And I'm like, when you have, like, we used to play together as kids. Do you think I can handle playing a broken character? He goes, oh, I know you can handle a broken character. And I'm like, do not tell the other kids how you did it. And he goes, I won't. And because it's like, so like, and he plays himself off as simply being the guy, if shit goes wrong, it's who you call in to go in and fix the problem. He sits in the back and waits for shit to go wrong and then comes in and goes, let me fix this. And because he realizes, yeah, I do make all the threats worthless. So, and everyone, it's like, so when I build an encounter, I realize, okay, it's kind of like I want to refer to it almost as like the Dragon Ball Z effect, where Goku solves all problems. Or Superman solves all problems. If he can show up, Superman solves the problem. And so it became this thing where it's like, I know I got to distract his character and pull him off somewhere else. And so he does have alternate characters that he pulls in, and I just go, hey, could you play not combat god today? And he goes, what do you need? And I'm like, I need this. He goes, I'll change characters for this, and he'll find an excuse on why his character's not around. He doesn't just wave that he's the most powerful person in the world, in your face. Mostly because he knows that I know the rules as well as he does, and I can break things as well as he does. And so if he wants to play the PC GM arms race on who can make a more broken character, he knows that A, he'll lose, he's not the GM, and B, it will ruin it for everybody else. And that's a very special mentality, I guess, is the knowing that you have the power to make the game miserable for everyone and then not doing it.
It's a pretty responsible power.
Was that?
That's a very responsible person.
Well, yeah, but it came with age, honestly. And because the two of us both were complete monsters when we were younger. Dear God, were we. But the thing was we were playing with people who were all monsters. And the two of us sit there after all the kids are gone, or when we only have like one or two alumni who are still just helping us clean up everything. And the two of us kind of go, we're monsters because we had bad people that we played with, right? And he was like, yeah, we are. And we know exactly who it was. I won't mention names, but we know exactly who the two people who forced us to have a bad attitude to gaming were. And it's like the guy who whose house we were always playing at and who owned about 2/3 of the books that we were using. We knew that he was kind of the guy who rigged everything in his favor. So you had to learn how to keep up, or because he was one of those people who grandstanded a lot. Like he made sure that everyone knew that he was the most amazing person, and he was spotlight steal all the time.
No. Thou shalt not steal the spotlight.
Yes. And so that was a person that we dealt with a lot. And we had another guy who figured out every broken combination it possible. Like if there was a broken combo, he would do it just to see if he could do it. And if you wanted to survive, and both of these people were both backstabbers, like hardcore backstabbers. And I didn't realize how bad it was until both of us grew up and moved out into the real world and saw that not everyone plays that way. And that most people were actually reasonable. Most people were actually fun. But when you have a 5-year window of this is what your exposure is, and every once in a while, and then you go out to, like, say, the game room, and you encountered a few other people who were just like that, you got this bad mentality. It's like it drilled into us. This is how we had to be. But now we're older. We went out and found that most people are actually good people. Most people are actually fun people. And now the two of us kind of look at it and go, you know that we're actually the ones who are the that guys. You know that, right? If we slip in our control, we're the bad people. We're the people that tell that other people will tell stories about, saying that we're the crap players. You know that, right? And he's like, yup. And so the two of us kind of sit back and go, God, we were so close to being the bad players. That you know one of those things where it's like there's always one bad player at the table, and if you can't find it, that's you.
I'm familiar with this. I'm very familiar with this.
And so, yeah, it's one of those moments of realization that we were the bad player. We were potentially the bad players. Our entire group were bad players. We had some good guys. We were all good guys, and now we're like, yeah, we were the bad ones. I mean, I'm over analytical. I'm the guy who kills cat girls by bringing science into fantasy.
How do you kill cat girls?
Oh, it's a joke. Okay, that's a joke in the Battletech community. There's a joke saying that if you start bringing reality and science into Battletech, you're killing a cat girl. Stop killing cat girls. So, because game is game, stop bringing reality into it. And so, I'm the one who's trying to figure out what that. Maybe titanium is actually an analog to mithril. The tungsten comparison. How to do different. I'm that guy who's trying to figure out. Hey, if I bind a demon to a brick, can I use that as a continual heat source for a steam engine? And having people go, shut up, no, you can't. Or go, hey, if I can keep heat metal, which can boil water at a certain level, can I get that? And someone goes, no, you can't. Can I use shape metal to make a perfect boiling? Stop trying to make a steam engine. No, the Romans figured it out. I'm figuring it out. And so I said, I kill cat girls all the fucking time. And so I'm that horrible person. It's like my partner in crime. He's someone who will figure out the best way to murder someone in a single round. That is like his entire he is like he's one of those players who plays the master assassins. It's just that is what he does. He tries to figure out how to end a fight in a single round because he realizes that that's how fast combat should be. That's how bad guys become good bad guys when they stop moving, when they fall down and don't get up. And the faster he can kill somebody, the faster he can not be in danger. So he is the master of rocket tag. And so the two of us are sitting here going, yeah, we're the bad players. We know that. And because we're the bad players, we shifted to focus to but we've always put story first. That was always one of our things, like story and character first. And so that's what keeps us from being that guy. But it's in us. Like, we both know the darkness of being the bad player is literally right under the surface. And it takes a lot of effort to go. And the thing is that's why I kind of smile. I make some nice characters, and then when someone goes, hey, you kind of suck at this, and I'm like going, you want to actually play the game? Like, I play the game mechanically, and they're like, it's like, okay, let's do this. And then, like, what job do you need? And then, and that's where I often say in the streams where it's like, do you want me to play this game in a purely, hey, Carmen. Bruce, Carmen's home. She's on
Hi, Carmen.
Hey,
How you doing?
tired but good.
I heard you guys had a late start for the day. That's awesome.
Yeah.
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 Nothing wrong with that. It's a Sunday.
Yeah, but she has to go to work. So.
Work sucks.
Yeah, it does. I agree.
There's
And
gonna
I heard Chimerian can't even have a coffee pot in his semi truck. I feel so sorry for him. We used to run when I used to run cross country.
things go right away and get him a thermos so he can have something hot during the winter.
Yeah.
Does he have a thermos yet or no?
I have one. We gotta find a better one. It's not. I have one that dates back to I think the 70s, and it needs updated.
He needs upgraded.
Okay.
We plan on doing that soon.
And it needs to be more than just a liter because 1 liter doesn't last long.
No, you need at least 64 ounces of coffee.
Yeah.
That's true. And yeah, I'm gonna brew a pot, pour it in the thermos, and that's gonna be the entire day. And nobody else gets to have any.
You see, I share mine with people, but that's just because I like blackout coffee. So I'm like, here's a link, here's this, here's your pot of coffee, here's your cup. That to me is I mean that's what I do. But there's other people they're not advocates, they're not ambassadors. They're like, I need coffee. You don't get my coffee. Okay, that's fine.
No, it's like there's like 2 guys there I'll probably share with because most of them are like soda drinkers. So, and like maybe 1 guy I'll share with because he's like a pretty cool guy and he has no idea what personal space is. But beyond that, he's not a bad guy.
Sounds fairly harmless.
He's fairly harmless. Just the idea that he doesn't understand the American 2 foot 2-3 feet of personal space at all times, please. Like you just don't realize that I don't want to touch you if I put my arm out and then spin around in a circle. That's the also that needs to be a bit longer distance. So if I'm carrying a knife, like I'm opening a box or something, I don't want you anywhere in me
no stabby zone.
Yeah, I don't want to have somebody because I'm wired and I twitch. So it's like if I'm focused on something and someone goes, "Hey," touches my back, I'm probably going to spin around fast, and I don't want a sharp object going into somebody. So
No worries on that. I understand that.
And I run with knives at work, so everybody knows to stay out of my way.
right, yeah. So
Where do you work, Carmen?
Haddad's, West Peoria Market.
Yeah, I know Haddad's.
Yep. I'm in the deli. So I'm going from one door to the next. You never know what's going to be in my hands. We actually started getting busy before I left.
but you left. So
But I left. I was not staying. Yeah, 5 more days of that crap. Speaking of which, I need to get out of this uniform.
Go ahead.
I'm going to excuse myself and let you have Blaine back for a while.
Hey, you know what? I'm probably going to wrap the stream up because a friend of mine just texted me and wanted me to make myself available to help him move something. And as much as I hate the idea of that, like I know what his limits are, and I'm like, I better go over there and make sure you're not going to hurt yourself.
Right.
So, you know how that is. I hate doing this. I might stream later tonight. You guys can find me. I'll be streaming tomorrow night with Miss Janet from Another Planet. We're reviewing Clash of the Titans from 1981.
Nice.
And I look forward to seeing everybody here. I don't mean to cut and run, but I'm going to get the Victor Dutch oven stream going because I think I could probably help him out.
Also, Bruce, we can always get back to everyone's actually a bad gamer. They just don't realize it yet. Idea later.
Okay. Well, it looks like Connell, our friend Connell, is over on the Dutch oven stream right now.
Awesome.
If you guys would do me a favor and just type in what I have here in the chat. Bruce Lombardo raid. Just copy and paste that when you go over there and give them some love. And I will talk to all of you guys later through the Discord. So various individuals we know and love. And I thank you for everybody for showing up today.
All right.
Yeah.
We're gonna do. I do some errands, so I'll put it on mute, so that way he gets more view time. So.
Thank you.
All right. Talk later, Bruce. Have a good night.
Later, guys. I'm out of
Bye.
here. Everybody take care. Thank you for being here for my 600 stream. Thank you.